Big movements in Avinger stock price on Wednesday, moving 20.00% between high and low, updated on January 13, 2021. Buy or hold candidate since December 22, 2020 gained 271.10%. The Avinger stock price fell by -2.59% on the last day, Wednesday, 13 January 2021, from $1.16 to $1.13, and has now fallen 3 days in a row. During the day the stock fluctuated 20.00% from a day low at $1.10 to a day high of $1.32. The price has risen in 6 of the last 10 days and is up by 191.99% over the past 2 weeks. Volume fell on the last day along with the stock, which is actually a good sign as volume should follow the stock. On the last day, the trading volume fell by -21 million shares and in total, 19 million shares were bought and sold for approximately $21.57 million. The stock lies in the middle of a very wide and strong rising trend in the short term, and a further rise within the trend is signaled. Given the current short-term trend, the stock is expected to rise 49.25% during the next 3 months and, with a 90% probability, hold a price between $0.61 and $2.19 at the end of this 3-month period. Signals and forecast. The Avinger stock holds buy signals from both short and long-term moving averages, giving a positive forecast for the stock. Also, there is a general buy signal from the relation between the two signals where the short-term average is above the long-term average. On corrections down, there will be some support from the lines at 93 cents and 46 cents. A breakdown below any of these levels will issue sell signals. Furthermore, there is a buy signal from the 3 months moving average convergence divergence, MACD. Some negative signals were issued as well, and these may have some influence on the near short-term development. A sell signal was issued from a pivot top point on Monday, January 11, 2021, and so far it has fallen -22.07%. Further fall is indicated until a new bottom pivot has been found. Volume fell together with the price during the last trading day, and this reduces the overall risk as volume should follow the price movements. Support, risk and stop loss. On the downside, the stock finds support just below today's level from accumulated volume at 90 cents. With no support from accumulated volume below today's level, the risk is increased, as a drop below the support at $0 may give a huge drop in the stock price. This stock may move very much during a day, volatility, and with a very large prediction interval from the Bollinger Band. This stock is considered to be very high risk. During the last day, the stock moved 22 cents between high and low, or 20.00%. For the last week, the stock has had a daily average volatility of 27.31%. Our recommended stop loss, $1.07, -5.56%. This stock has very high daily movements and this gives very high risk. There is a sell signal from a pivot top found 2 days ago. Is Avinger stock a buy? Several short-term signals, along with a general good trend, are positive, and we conclude that the current level may hold a buying opportunity as there is a fair chance for Avinger stock to perform well in the short term. Current score, 2.566. Predicted opening price for Avinger of Thursday, January 14, 2021. The predicted opening price is based on yesterday's movements between high, low, and the closing price. Fair opening price January 14. Avinger Incorporated manufactures catheter devices used to treat vascular diseases. It designs, manufactures and sells image-guided, catheter-based systems that are used by physicians to treat patients with peripheral artery disease. AVGR is overvalued compared to its price of $1.13 per share, has below average safety, and is currently rated a hold. Recommendation, REC hold. REC reflects the cumulative effect of all the vector vest parameters working together. These parameters are designed to help investors buy safe, undervalued stocks rising in price. Value. Current price, $1.13. Current value, 20 cents. AVGR has a current value of 20 cents per share, compared to a price of $1.13 per share. This stock is currently overvalued. Value is computed from forecasted earnings per share, forecasted earnings growth, profitability, interest, and inflation rates. Upside potential, relative value/RV. Very poor. RV is an indicator of long-term price appreciation potential. AVGR has an RV of 0.40, which is very poor on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. This indicator is far superior to a simple comparison of price and value because it is computed from an analysis of projected price appreciation 3 years out, AAA corporate bond rates, and risk. Safety, relative safety/RS. Poor. RS is an indicator of risk. AVGR has an RS of 0.54, which is poor on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. RS is computed from an analysis of the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance, debt-to-equity ratio, sales volume, business longevity, price volatility and other factors. Timing, relative timing/RT. Good. RT analyzes a stock's price trend. AVGR has a relative timing of 1.19, which is good on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. RT is computed from an analysis of the direction, magnitude, and dynamics of a stock's price movements day over day, week over week, quarter over quarter and year over year. If a trend dissipates, RT will gravitate toward 1.00. Overall rating, value safety timing/VST. Poor. VST is the master indicator for ranking every stock in the VectorVest database. AVGR has a VST rating of 0.83, which is poor on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. VST is computed from the square root of a weighted sum of the squares of RV, RS, and RT. Stocks with the highest VST ratings have the best combinations of value, safety, and timing. Stop price. Stop price, 61 cents. Stop is an indicator of when to sell a position. AVGR has a stop of 61 cents per share. A stock's stop is computed from a 13-week moving average of its closing prices, and is fine-tuned according to the stock's fundamentals. C. Comfort Index. Very poor. C is an indicator which reflects a stock's ability to resist severe and/or lengthy price declines. AVGR has a C rating of 0.25, which is very poor on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. C is based solely upon a stock's long-term price history. GRT. Earnings growth rate. GRT reflects a company's 1 to 3 year forecasted earnings growth rate in percent per year. AVGR has a forecasted earnings growth rate of 17.00%, which VectorVest considers to be very good. EPS, earnings per share. EPS stands for leading 12 months earnings per share. AVGR has a forecasted EPS of -19 cents per share. VectorVest determines this forecast from a combination of recent earnings performance and traditional fiscal and/or calendar year earnings forecasts. PE, price-to-earnings ratio. PE shows the dollars required to buy $1 of earnings. AVGR has a PE of -5.95. The average PE of all the stocks in the VectorVest database is 62.89. A. Earnings yield. A reflects earnings per share as a percent of price. AVGR has an A of -16.81%. This is below the current average of 1.59% for all the stocks in the VectorVest database. GPE, growth to PE ratio. AVGR has a GPE rating of -2.86. A stock is commonly considered to be undervalued when GPE is greater than 1.00. Dividend. VectorVest reports annual, regular, cash dividends as indicated by the most recent payments. Special distributions, one-time payments, stock dividends, etc., are not generally included in division. AVGR does not pay a dividend. Dividend yield. DI reflects dividend per share as a percent of price. AVGR does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a dividend yield rating. DI equals 100x, div/price. It is useful to compare DI with A. If DI is not significantly lower than A, the dividend payment may be in jeopardy. DS, dividend safety. DS is an indicator of the assurance that regular cash dividends will be declared and paid at current or at higher rates for the foreseeable future. AVGR does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a dividend safety rating. Stocks with DS values above 75 typically have RS values well above 1.00 and A levels that are much higher than DI. DG, dividend growth rate. Dividend growth is a forecasted annual growth rate of a company's dividend based on historical dividend payments and dividend predictability. It is a subtle yet important indicator of a company's financial performance. It also provides some insight into the board's outlook on the company's ability to increase earnings. AVGR does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a dividend growth rating. YSG vector. YSG is an indicator which combines DI, DS and DG into a single value, and allows direct comparison of all dividend-paying stocks in the database. AVGR does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a YSG rating. Stocks with the highest YSG values have the best combinations of dividend yield, safety, and growth. These are the stocks to buy for somewhat above current income and long-term growth. AVGR. AVGR is the 50-day moving average of daily volume as computed by VectorVest. AVGR has an AVGR of 19,452,015 shares traded per day. Percent volume. Percent volume reflects the percent change in today's trading volume as compared to the AVGR. Percent volume equals volume, AVGR 100. AVGR had a percent volume of minus 1.85% on Wednesday, January 13, 2021. Percent PRC, AVGR price changed minus 2.59% from the prior day's closing price. Sales, AVGR has annual sales of 8 million. Sales growth. Sales growth is the sales growth rate in percent over the last 12 months. AVGR has a sales growth of minus 4.00% per year. This is very poor. Sales per share, SPS, AVGR has annual sales of 10 cents per share. Price to sales ratio, PS, AVGR has a PS of 11.17. Shares, AVGR has 84 million shares of stock outstanding. Market capitalization, AVGR has a market capitalization of 95 million. Business sector, AVGR has been assigned to the healthcare business sector. VectorVest classifies stocks into over 200 industry groups and 40 business sectors. Industry group, AVGR has been assigned to the healthcare, instruments, industry group. VectorVest classifies stocks into over 200 industry groups and 40 business sectors.